made me laugh. Scott Taylor running for Congress, 2nd District. And by the way, Scott Taylor is from the 2nd District. And he's going to be facing off in a primary against Pat Cardwell, a Virginia Beach lawyer, and Randy Forbes, who has decided to go from the 4th District to the 2nd District. And Forbes rolling out a list of 100 executive backers yesterday. Also did a poll that he released saying he was up 2-1, but then we saw another poll that showed the race dead even, and I said it's a toss-up. Anyway, saying all that, joining us now, big introduction, Scott Taylor. Hey, Delegate Taylor, good to have you, man.
Good morning, John. Great to be with you as always, and your listeners, of course, out there.
Okay, now, let's cut to the chase. I want to start with something I want to get you to comment on. Randy Forbes running in the 2nd District. Now, we had him on our show while I was in New Hampshire sometime earlier in the week. I think it was on Tuesday. And made his announcement. And the narrative coming out of the Randy Forbes for 2nd District Congress campaign is the 4th District is not winnable. That's the thing I keep hearing. It's not winnable. Obama carried at 61%. It's not winnable. Okay? So I did a little research, and Obama did get 61% in 2008 and 2012. So on the surface, the new district doesn't look winnable, 61%. Tough for a Republican to turn that. But then I went a little deeper, and what I saw last night is Bob McDonnell carried the new 4th District by 1% in 2009. Bill Bolling carried it as lieutenant governor candidate in 2009. Get this. Cuccinelli carried it as attorney general candidate in 2009. So the entire Republican ticket carried the new district in 2009, but now they're telling us it's not winnable, but yet they won it in 2009. What's the deal here?
Well, Don, I've been thanks for your question. I've been very boisterous, if you will, about the fact that I believe it's winnable. I think it's, I'm hearing that up here in Richmond from Democrats who are elected officials there. They said that he wouldn't lose to McEachin. I doubt that a lot of independents in Chesapeake would want McEachin as their representative. We've talked about that. Look, my district, which was changed in redistricting as well too, from Coach Tata's, is 50-50 Obama, and we won by 13 points. And that was, without the advantage of incumbency or the war chest or the machine that a incumbent Chesapeake congressman has. So this is not a personal attack. This is, it's not. It is what it is. I think it's wrong. There's nothing in my DNA that says it's okay to leave behind, the tens of thousands of people who supported you for self-preservation. I just don't. I think it's wrong. I think most folks that are, of course, there's people who support what he's doing, but I think the majority of the folks in the 4th do not, and I think the majority of the folks in the 2nd do not. I think he can win it. I think that they should stay put. I'd love to see him in Congress in the 4th District where he lives.
Well, there's a lot of people that have called in our show that are in the 4th District, the 4th District as it's been changed, and they do feel abandoned. I mean, I just Scott Taylor, my callers tell me what's going on out there. That's why my predictions are so uncanny, because I listen to my callers, and they're not happy that they feel that they're being abandoned.
I can tell you, and again, it is what it is. If he's running the 2nd, he's running the 2nd, and he'll run there. But I'll be very clear. The path of least resistance for Congressman Forbes back to Congress is to win his own district, period. You mentioned the polls earlier. We weren't even going to release our polls, but we had to because of the polls that were released by their camp, which were skewed. I mean, if you look at the questions that we asked, the first question was, who would you vote for? That simple, myself or him. And you saw it was a statistical tie, which of course you called on in your email just recently. And then there was a question that says, thinking of your congressional district, how important is it for your congressman to live in your district? Very simple, non-skewed question. Almost 80% of the people said It is very important, or strongly important, or very important, one of those two. But basically, very important. And then they released it saying that the overwhelming support, which is statistically impossible if they're polling Republican primary voters with an honest question. So, and then the last one that I'll just highlight was the informed ballot. The informed ballot, which is my background, his background, not skewed. We put that out there too, so you see exactly what the question is. In fact, I think they touted them, which is good, and it's an honest answer for me. And we were up 31 points with the background. Now, what is also important to say in this poll is 50% of the people who took the poll were over the age of 65. Mm-hmm. And 80% of the people were over the age of 55.
Right.
So that doesn't even account for my generation and below, that we're going to be bringing a lot of those folks out in a Republican primary. We made sure the poll that we did was honest and had honest information for me, and that it was conservative for me.
Well, look,
we're very happy where we are. Very happy.
I think I looked at your two polls that you sent me, and I looked at what I got from the Randy Forbes for 2nd District Congress campaign and their poll, saying that they were up, 70 to 20 or something, some big number. And I looked at all of them, and I think the most accurate poll is the second one you had that said, who would you vote for today? Scott Taylor, Randy Forbes, and that was a statistical dead heat. I think that's really where this race is. And look, when you go into a district and you say, I took this poll, which is run by my polling company that I pay to give me advice, and says I'm up 2-1, and you release that, I don't really know what the purpose of that is, because it number one, it makes your backers complacent. So I'm not really sure why they did that. I mean, if they're up 2-1, good for them. I don't think they are. I think right now, if this election was held today, I think it's 50-50 right now. We got a long way to go. Now, I want to talk about something else. Common Sense News Time. I want to get to this rumor, I guess, that we've heard, and I've heard it now from a number of people. I don't do rumor mongering on our show, but I've heard this now, Scott, from too many people that are reliable, from the governor's office, that Congressman Forbes' people, or Congressman Forbes, has gone to the Democrats and proposed a deal saying that basically if you rewrite the district and get my location where I live in the second, then I'll get the Republicans to drop the lawsuit, and will basically give you the 4th district. Is there any truth at all to this?
Let me preface this by saying, whatever he decides, if he's coming over the second, we're gonna run, and we're gonna win on the things I've already accomplished and what we're gonna do, and what we and then he's gonna have to run on his record and all those things. So let's say that first. But what I will tell you, John, is yes, it is. I got a call from, actually I talked to someone high up in the administration who told me that they got a call from a surrogate that basically said, we will give you the 4th district, stop the lawsuit, if you draw Mr. Forbes into the 2nd district. Now, then a day later, I get a text message from someone in my Republican caucus, who's right outside of leadership, basically, saying, hey, have you heard this? This is what I'm seeing. Yesterday, the governor himself told me that folks from that office, or surrogates, or someone was calling his office trying to draw the congressman into the 2nd district in exchange for dropping the lawsuit and all that thing. And the reason why they would call the governor's office is we're past the time for any introduction of bills from the General Assembly. It would have to come from the governor's office first, and then go through us. That's incredible. So I wasn't on the phone call, but I'm hearing it from my caucus, from the governor himself, and someone high up there. And let me say why that's disgusting to me. To me, it's already wrong. It's already bad to say I'm going to leave people behind for self-preservation. But to say I'm going to trade them to the Democrats for self-preservation is insane to me. It's insane. So I wasn't on the call. I don't know who called. I did hear one name, but I can tell you, yes, from our caucus, the Republican caucus, to someone very high up in the governor's office, to the governor himself has told me this. And people do know about it. I mean, the press knows about it up here, and I know they're already digging. So, I mean, that to me is, it's just disgusting. It's immoral. So, I imagine it will come out. So, I'm just telling you what I heard from the horse's mouth, the governor.
So I want to get this straight.
I don't know how you feel about that because I know you're in the floor.
Well, I want to get this straight, Delegate Taylor. You're saying that Governor Terry McAuliffe of Virginia told you personally that he has been solicited by the Randy Forbes for Congress team to start an initiative to draw Randy's House block into the 2nd District, and in exchange for that, they would drop the lawsuit that the Republicans are initiating right now in Virginia to challenge the redrawing of the districts. Is that what you just said?
I'm saying that the official said all those things. The governor confirmed that to me. And yes, absolutely, I'm saying that. Senator Linwood Lewis was standing right next to me when the governor said it yesterday. So, yes, I am saying that. That's exactly what I heard. So, again, when you're a representative, you're an extension of your people, period. So if there's a fight and you're in a fight, they're in the fight too. So in my opinion, you stay and you fight for them. That's why we elevate leaders. We elevate leaders. We make them with this. It's a responsibility. It's an honor, and it's for them to protect us. And that is not what's happening here, in my opinion. And like I said, from what the governor said, from what someone in my own Republican caucus said, who I trust 100%, and from the cabinet-level official said to me, too, yes, that is exactly what I heard.
And Senator Linwood Lewis, Democrat, 6th District, Eastern Shore, was standing there.
He was standing right next to me when the governor said that to me. And I actually asked the governor, I said, will you go on record with that? And he said, I'm already public with it. That's what he said to me yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yes.
So how could Randy Forbes stop a Washington Republican National Committee lawsuit that they're trying to take to the Supreme Court of the United States to overturn the lower court's decision? How could?
Well, I don't know if it's their law. I don't know if it's their lawsuit. I know that he's on something. I don't know what the procedure is. I'm just telling you what I was told.
So basically, what you're saying is Randy Forbes' organization, because it's not from Randy, but one of his surrogates, said, "Look, you draw the congressman's block into the 2nd District, and we will throw the 4th District to the Wolves, or to the Democrats, if you will. Drop the suit. You get the 4th District. You pick up a seat. Done deal. Draw us in. We stay in the 2nd. And so we'll trade our seat in the 2nd for giving the 4th District to the Democrats, and we'll drop our lawsuit."
I'm going to be clear, because I'm not saying it's from his campaign. I'm saying it was someone on behalf of them. That's what I heard. I think the name will probably come out. I'll reserve that for the press, because I know they already know. They talked to me too yesterday. They already know the name. I'll let them deal with that. I'm not saying it's from the campaign. I'm saying it's someone on behalf of them.
Someone that is soliciting on behalf of them, like maybe a consultant or something like that.
I don't think they're paid direct. I don't think they're paid by them. No,
Okay.
I don't think they're paid by them.
So just someone disconnected enough for deniability.
I think that's a fair statement.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, right? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm going to I can guarantee you this. I'm going to call Senator Lewis in 5 minutes when I get off, when I get to the bottom of the hour, and I'm going to call him and ask him straight up if he heard this, and if he did, I'll tell my listeners immediately what the deal is. Because, look, at the end of the day, Randy Forbes can run in the 2nd, and he can go fight, and he might win. But I think if you're not stopping someone on your behalf trying to trade a district seat to the Democrats in order to draw your block into the second district. I mean, I really think people have to be aware of that, and then they can make their own minds up.
I think it's important for people to understand that there's a history there of drawing it for protection and self-preservation. I'm not saying that that's political gerrymandering, of course, is protected, but I think it's wrong, personally, and I think most people out there think it's wrong. I think that you shouldn't be able to draw yourself protected or draw your opponent out of there who's strong or something like that. That's crazy to me. Get out, talk to your people, run on your merits, sell them on you and what you're going to do, and if they believe in you, then they'll support you, and that's what I think should happen.
Scott, the problem with what you just said is I'm in the 4th District, and basically that would be saying to me and other constituents, you know what, you don't really mean anything to us, and we're simply going to trade you away so that we can have a better chance to win somewhere else. I mean, I don't think that's a good thing. I think who's ever behind this needs to come clean. We need to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to call this senator in about 20 seconds. When I get to the bottom of the hour, we're out of time. I want to thank Scott Taylor for being with us. Scott, one question. If we have a debate, will you participate?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Absolutely.
All right.
I would love to.
Work on that. Scott Taylor, thanks for being with us.